The streets of Tachov are silent. There are no children at the elementary school. Local shops are closed. With new coronavirus variants raging across the Czech Republic, this is one of the country's worst affected regions. Deputy Mayor Josef Horáček tries to keep track of the numbers. He says everyone here knows someone who died of COVID-19.
I realized many of those who died were people my age or even younger. I realized I would never see them again, to go fishing, watch soccer, or have a beer. That really gets to you.
In the local health center, the first responders tell us they feel totally overwhelmed and frustrated. There is no hospital in town. That means patients with severe cases of COVID-19 have to be transferred to a clinic 50 kilometers away. Magdalena Jancova says sometimes she doesn't have the energy to wake up and go to work. The emergency doctor recently lost her father to the pandemic.
Because I'm a doctor, I was allowed to say goodbye to my dad and to stay with him until the very last moment. I don't want anyone to have to see what's going on in COVID wards, where patients suffocate, even if they're given oxygen. They're in pain. You cannot imagine that.
Exhausted front workers, residents in resignation, and all this while the pandemic rages on across the region. Tachov is less than 20 minutes drive from neighboring Germany, but the border has been closed. This has disrupted the lives of many cross-border commuters. Some have even lost their jobs.
I need a job. I am trying to find one, but no one wants me. It's tough. It is taking too long. People want jobs. They have to pay their bills. Unfortunately, this is the reality.
Tachov's deputy mayor is pinning his hopes on vaccines, even though so far vaccinations are only taking place here once a week. Meanwhile, Dr. Magdalena Jancova pulls herself together every single day so she can keep doing her job, hoping that one day soon the pandemic will be over.
Well, for more, I'm joined by Yuri Hošek, TV commentator of TD Seznam in the capital, Prague. Yuri, how did it get so bad? The country had some of the lowest infection rates in Europe and now one of the highest in the world.
Good morning to you. Well, I think we put the foot off the pedal, especially in summer 2020, and when we were one of the best countries in Europe concerning handling the pandemic. And basically, the government was sending wrong signals to the public in a sense that the worst is probably behind us. And also in autumn 2020 and around Christmas was way too hesitant, inconclusive, probably handling the crisis on so-called popular demand, having parliamentary elections on the horizon in October 2021. And also there is a lack of communication. We have now in March 2021, we're still waiting for an official nationwide campaign concerning vaccination, which is just shambolic. And to be honest, I think the part of the guilt is also on the side of ordinary people, so to say, in a way that they're not obeying the rules the way they should. And also, I would say the police should be a lot stricter towards those who are just not probably wearing masks in the public. So it's a combination of factors.
Yeah, you allude to poor communication being one of them, from the Czech government being a big factor. Have they since communicated why it took so long to act as the situation got worse?
I think there is some really crisis inside the government about the whole system, how to handle crisis, because Prime Minister Andrej Babiš repeatedly said that he is actually the key person concerning the rollout of vaccine, the whole communication of the crisis, the micromanagement. We've had already 3 ministers of health in a span of 1 month just failing to handle the whole problem. We have coalition government. The communication between ministries has been quite poor. So again, it's a combination, a mixture of factors.
And very briefly, Yuri, what's been done to improve the situation going forward?
Well, right now we have a lockdown, which is the most strict from what we've experienced since last year. Pretty much the next step would only be to switch off the industry and limit the movement of people in a space of a couple of 100 meters from their homes. So I think now the figures we will see next week and 2 weeks will actually improve, and also as the vaccination rollout has improved. So this is actually the path, the way out of the darkness.
Yuri Hosek in Prague, many thanks.
Pleasure.